My name is Marco. I'm a pro opera singer turned voice actor. I love talking about, analyzing, and discussing video game music from an emotional perspective after a decade of being on stage. I'm really excited to check out more Ultra Kill Layer 7. Today we're going to be listening to Do Robots Dream of Eternal Sleep? Sounds complicated. Hear the Siren Song Call of Death. So that's exciting. Here we go. Dude, that is so cool. Do Robots Dream of Eternal Sleep? Is kind of a complex and really deep perspective. It's a really complex and deep question. And I love how we start with this sort of like putting us in the position to think about what it means to be a robot, what it means to be alive, what it means to be conscious, what it means to be living and breathing for those of us that are human watching this video. It's really, really interesting, and I think it leads to a lot of interesting questions, and I think it's actually really gentle. And I think this opening, even 8 seconds in, gives us an immense feeling of like, what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be living and breathing and in this world? And I really dig that. I think too that this pulsation can be pensiveness. This it can be introspection. It can be curiosity. It can be looking for answers. I think that's really smart. Shift. You know, that's such an interesting middle section here because it's really big block chords. In a way, it's positive, and in another way, it's not like a happy melody. And we have to think about when we hear that, regardless of context, we have to think, well, this means things are not as good as it's like someone wants this to be something it isn't, right? Like we want for things to be a certain way. And even though that pursuit of goodness is in us, there is something that gets in the way and stops us from really getting there. And I find that kind of interesting, and I could be way off, but there's a real feeling in there of again, similarly to The World Looks White that I listened to earlier. There's a real sense in there of like almost like an unrequited joy, where like there's a joy that we want to feel and yet we cannot due to like life circumstances. But this one is even more exaggerated and aggressive because of how open the chords are and because of how pronounced those. It's very declaimed, and yet I don't feel good about how that feels. You know, you hear how that movement. That's what causes us to feel like, oh boy, it's a little bit out of the chord structure, which makes it feel like, oh, that's a big, beautiful chord. And yet it's not very comforting. That's so interesting. This piece desperately wants to be a piece about goodness and about beauty and about possibility, and it's not that. It's a piece about frustration and false ideology and being put in a position to believe one thing, but really it's something else, and like being lied to and being manipulated and being naive and hoping for the best, but then not realizing that actually, yeah, you've been duped. It's very interesting. And then here we're getting war sounds. Thunder and lightning and war, and it's almost like you enlist into something thinking that it will be beneficial for you and help you, the reality of what it means to go to war, or the reality of, you have the idealization of it, and then you have the reality. And I think maybe that's what comes into this. I'm curious to hear the siren song, Call of Death. Yeah, this actually reminds me of the melody that we heard from The World Looks Red. And I think here, there's a real quality there of my back is against the wall and there's nothing I can do. So now I have to face this head on, and it is what it is. And I have to just I have to fight. I have to protect myself. I have to defend my honor. I have to defend my life. I have to defend everything. My back is against the wall and I have no other option. And I think that these big open chords provide a real sense of brutality here. It really does feel like there is a big push and pull here again, not dissimilarly to Bull of Hell. Really, really uncomfortable, really, really not melodic in the slightest. It's very mechanical, very heavy-handed in its delivery. It really makes you feel like it is what it is, and you're just in that combat. And you are that machine, and your purpose is to fight, and that's what There's like hints of consciousness in Do Robots Dream of Eternal Sleep, and then we wake back up to that idea of I am a killing machine. That's what I'm meant to be, and that's what I'm meant to do. And that's that desperation sort of motif. I can't do anything about this shit. Yeah, so much augmented stuff here. It really, it's just, it really, really is uncomfortable, and it really is about that feeling of, it's just like scraping your hand against the nail or something, or like hitting your hand with a hammer. Like there's a real feeling of like, oh my God, I can't let go of this. This is terrible. It's interesting. There's actually a lot of humanity in it too. Like I almost feel like, what if I forget the robot's name, but what if the robot doesn't want to keep doing this? What if the robot actually wants to be fully aware of itself and not be a killing machine? Like there's like some sort of antagonism in here I'm really vibing with, but yeah, it's interesting. And, on top of that, I wonder if there isn't some sort of, fine, you know what, whatever, this is what I'm meant to be, so this is what I'm going to be, like it has a quality almost of like, fine, I'll do it, of contempt. Yeah. And now the more I'm listening to it, I also look at the title, Hear the Siren Song of Death, the siren song call of death. It really does feel like, well, I am death, the bringer of worlds, or the eater of worlds, or whatever. Point is, like, there's a real sense of like, well, this is that song. This is welcome to my show. This is the song I have written for you. It's a song of death for you. And it's really interesting. It does feel like there's a tug of war inside the subconscious of like, well, why do I have to do this? But I guess I don't have a choice. Fuck it. Here I am. This is my song, and you will listen to it. It's shockingly deep. Oh, it's so nice to hear that melody stripped away. Don't you hear how, as we descend there, so we have a leap. That's one phrase. And then we have a repeated melodic and rhythmic identity. Do you hear how that, if you connect to it even slightly, it gives us the feeling of loss, doesn't it? It gives us a feeling of like, damn, I don't want to have to do this. There's a pain in that one, isn't there? I think that's really cool. And stripped away, when we remove the heavy metal elements, so like with the guitar, with the drums, and with whatever, all that sort of withers away, and you're left with this feeling of incredible loss, with just the piano plucking out that melodic idea. And I think that that's really telling. I think that really is about like, man, I really didn't want to have to do this. Like, that sucks. This was not what I signed up for. When all is said and done, and you're just exhausted, right? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. That like slow stomp, like marching. Yeah, it's a sort of inescapable thing, right? And actually, in the middle section there, what I was talking about earlier with the piano, you really actually get the quality of like, man, I really wish I didn't have to do that. And then we are back to our inherent nature. We can't escape that violence that comes with us all the time. It's really, in a way, it's quite powerful because it's like a moment of clarity where it's like, oh shoot, I wish I didn't have to do this, but, and then you're like sucked back into whatever. It's powerful stuff. If you like this, there's more Ultra Kill on the channel, and there's more video game music on the channel that I recommend you check out if you feel like it. As always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you later. Bye.